My buddy Dash for this episode of Double Take. Dave, I just said joined by Dash, but we're joined by Dash
Talking
and
in
Dave.
the third person. That's
The way you
weird.
look,
The way you feel.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. And today there's going to be a lot of stuff for this tinfoil hat show. There's a lot of news that happened that Dave and I want to react to. There's also Frosinone that's going to happen tomorrow. We have a crazy game in Lazio and Roma that happened this morning. And then we also have a Nutter Butter game that happened between Atalanta and Milan, where they're saying there was a miscalled handball and Atalanta advanced. And if I'm Juventus, I am licking my chops because this Coppa Italia draw is looking very, very favorable. And here to break things down to me and try to keep me sane from ranting too long is my co-host, Dave.
Sometimes I just kind of tune out and let you do it.
You just wanted me to watch the world burn. I get it.
Watch the world burn. So I'm here. Ellen's here, making her appearance as well. We can call me One Light Dave because only one of my lights seem to turn on today. So sorry for the uneven lighting, but it's too late. We're live. Let's go. So, it is pregame and the tinfoil.
Let me ask you guys in the chat, because KB put a comment yesterday saying that my voice or my audio is coming in and out. So if you guys can hear me cleanly, put a 1 in the chat, please. If I am not sounding out, throw a 1 in there for me, just so I know that you guys can hear me properly, and I can obviously give you content where you can physically hear me, because it's kind of bad if I go like this. All right, cool. So judging by the ones, we're good for now.
Smooth like butter.
Please, guys, again, that was a pre-recorded video, but in any event of a live stream that you hear Dave or myself sound choppy, let us know in the chat so we can adjust accordingly, because again, we put in a lot of work on this, so we want to give you guys as much quality content.
Oh yeah, if we need to improve somewhere, you better tell us, because if we don't know and we're just here embarrassing ourselves, you gotta
like a bunch of idiots.
You gotta let us know. Just like how I have uneven lighting. I get it. But we'll move on. Vincenzo saying here, best captain ever. I'm assuming you mean because I put Benucci back on the cover today. Is that what we're referencing?
I think that is the that is going to be something that we talk about.
Dave's in, Sal's in, Coleman Kiss is in. Vincenzo, the hand is actually perfect. No issues there. It was just rattled me a little bit. I'm good. Good. Thanks for asking though. Ellie's in and Bones is in bed. Are you sick? Like, it's pretty.
He's a delinquent. He's a degenerate. That's
30.
He's just like, I'm gonna stay in bed. I don't care about anything right now. Speaking of hand, that was a new style of reels that we've been cutting and dropping as well. So
that's all Dash.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about those, chat? You guys like those stuff? A little fun, important segments that we think that are worth listening to. So we slap and throw it out there for you.
A couple people like it anyways by the thumbs up. And
things. No, for sure. Yeah, because we'll keep doing it if you guys like them.
That's the plan anyways. We're trying to expand the horizons a little bit to continue the growth. The growth has been great, by the way. So if you are a new subscriber, thank you very much. Welcome in. Welcome to the crew. Here we are, one of us. Even teeny all the way.
Yeah. No, we're still a growing channel, and we want to get more people out there, and judging by how much you guys like us in the Discord and whatnot, and hey, let's get some more people in this. The Juve with a twist, or a comedic take on Juve.
Frankie likes the short bits.
He likes them.
He likes them short and bitty.
And then Sal says, keep them up. And Vincenzo says, sorry for the sarcasm for the cat. No, we know it's sarcasm. Sarcasm. We love it.
I just want to make sure that that's what we were referencing, right? Because there's no context sometimes in the chat. So that's all that is. It's just clarifying that we're making fun of the right thing.
One says, no, you asked where you were. Needed So I said,
Zing.
oh man, that's funny.
Oh, we just got told. It's awesome. All right. We need to improve in bed. Bones has been watching. Where are
Bones,
those eyes? Frankie, give me those eyes.
could you imagine if he has like a 55-inch in his bedroom and it's just Dave in my face, just as us talking to him? It's just like, Bones, I see you're under the covers there, buddy. How you doing? And I just made this weird, but whatever.
Sweeten the sound curves too to make
It
it
is.
extra
It's the tinfoil hat show. Before someone just comes out, like it's only a matter of time before one of these days someone's just gonna pop out of nowhere, and when we're not expecting it, we just. A little funny follow up to that guy. He went back in court and he was like completely chained up and restrained.
Yeah, Hannibal Lecter style.
Yeah, they had him like wearing like these plastic gloves, like chains his arms, his legs, his mouth was like so he couldn't bite anybody. So it's nuts. Very, very big,
nuts.
big
From
and nuts.
Tampa. Where's he from?
Yeah, it was somewhere where Jeff.
I think it was Florida.
Jeff can answer that question. So Antonio's asking, is there a good chance that Kostic and Sandro this Mercado are out, and are we going to take Berna?
Both is a huge ask, but I did hear just a little rumor that Flamengo is looking for Sandro.
That is true. So you know what? So we're going to table this. We're going to discuss this a little bit later because today is a little bit of a twofer, a BOGO, buy one, get one. So we're going to open up with the Frosinone pregame and our kind of thoughts on it for an opening segment. Then we'll transition into the tinfoil hat show. I think it's going to be more dominant to the tinfoil hat show this run because there's some to cover for Frosinone, not really much to cover. So we'll be able to kind of.
It hasn't been that long since we played them.
It has not.
Vlad was just saying no, absolutely not.
Vlad just needs to learn to have more fun.
All right, get the FOP mob up. Let's do it. I can see the reflection of it in your. Is it which jersey?
Did Dave just accidentally crash on me midstream again? Unacceptable. He's like or is he? Who knows? Maybe it was Vlad that hit him with a DDoS attack. Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy, did you hit the back button?
No, my browser as well has been doing that.
Speaking, you know what's funny? This is the tinfoil hat show, and Dave got cut right before he was about to say something.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. I can see your screen. I think it's your Platini jersey there.
Yeah, the Platty. The problem is like the glass that I have in that frame, and it's what irritates me. I'll show you guys here. This is what Juve gave us when Dave and I were working with them. They gave us that Platini jersey, and I'm like, I need to frame this. But then, like, the plastic material that's going over the frame is terrible. Like, my one on Ronaldo is fine. The Turin Giants one is just because the flag is black, so there's not really much I can do there.
I took the glass. Like,
you took the glass off.
I took it, yeah. So my frame, they're just frames with nothing on them.
Oh, wow.
That's how I did it, yeah.
You, sir, are a wizard.
It's just the simple
shit.
things.
I apparently am doing wrong. Vlad says, why am I catching strays? Vlad says, Sandro will leave for Santos in the summer. Dave says, lots of tinfoily products. He left Dash like CM Punk left WWE, but in the end, he came back.
See, I now know who CM Punk sort of is, that he's
I feel
wrestler,
so bad
but apparently he's not anymore.
He's wrestling. Oh, he's wrestling. He's back. He's wrestling.
For WWE?
Yeah. He came back. Dave, or German Dave and I were in the Discord absolutely losing our shit over it.
Yeah.
All right. So opening up FOP Mob, the quarterfinal for tomorrow at 3 p.m. Guess what? There's no projected lineup on FOP Mob.
They don't do this for the Copa. They just don't care.
No,
they don't put the effort.
For Salernitana, they did. So we're a little bit SOL, ironically.
So here we go. Like Ronaldo. Like Ronaldo left in 21.
So you know what? I'm going to just cut to this. We're going to talk about the pregame here, or the presser. So Allegri takes on Frosinone tomorrow in their Coppa Italia quarterfinal game, which will mark Allegri's 400th match in charge of the Bianconeri. Just 5 behind Lippi, and still well off of Trapattoni's 5.
Yeah, he's got a couple hundred there.
I think he's going to hit that. He's going to hit that with some of the news that we'll react to later.
He might. He's got to get back into Europe and catch a few more games there.
I'm telling you, I think he's going to hit it, especially with the FIFA Club World Cup too, and also the friendlies in the summer.
Oh my God.
The Allegri haters will then roll in their grave if Allegri beats that record.
We'll get into it, but we can't play like more than a couple weeks of 3 games.
We're teasing y'all.
Yeah.
All right. So Allegri says, I'm really happy to make 400 games with Juventus behind legends Trapattoni. who was my coach at Calgary.
Calgary.
Calgary. There we go.
I said that with beer in my mouth too, bud. Come
Well,
on,
you're
let's
used to saying stuff with your mouth preoccupied. And Marcelo Lippi, it's a great honor. When I arrived, I didn't think I would spend 8 years at Juventus. I am proud of it. But once we must look ahead and we must qualify for the semifinal, I have learned here that we must focus on what happens next and not the past. So obviously, when you're a journalist, you ask stupid questions. So
You must.
Stupid question number
Part
one.
of the job.
What would Allegri have done differently if he went back in time during his first 5, and then the 3-year spell? He says, I wouldn't even cancel one game. In football, there are challenges every day, especially the Champions League. That's what we live and work for. I miss not playing it this season. We have played many important games in 8 years. I remember all of them, even when we were losing 3-0 against Genoa after 27 minutes. That was such a shit. That was a throwaway game. I can't believe he picked that game of all games to quote on. Damn it, Allegri. I feel like he does that to piss people off. All right. So let's talk about Chiesa. Federico Chiesa did not play in the last gasp. So dramatic. Last gasp. Went over Salernitana with a knee ailment and is not available for tomorrow. Wanted to be dramatic there. You can laugh, Dave.
We'll talk about Chiesa.
He won't play because he is not called up. The knee keeps improving, and if all goes to plan, he'll be available against Sassuolo. Andrea Cambiaso is fit. Rabiot, Deschilio, and Kean are out, and others are available. And I'm a little bit concerned with Rabiot being out.
That is a concern. Huge.
I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe not so much for this game, but projected for being out for. It's another midweek, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tuesday?
It's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday match.
It's wild.
Very wild. Kean Yildiz rise to stardom could eclipse Moise Kean, and we did release a short on that we talked about that briefly yesterday as well. With rumors of Fiorentina, Bologna, and Monza, so Milan is officially dropped out of the race, are all interested in the January loan of the Italian international. Dave and I said Fiorentina. That was one of our favorites. It is going to be one of the biggest, in our opinion, for him to really go. Kyle Larry.
Yeah, sort of, but there's a little more throat to it as well because there's that
because the G, Dave, context, a little more throat to it. Come on.
No, there is though, right? Because that G in Italian it's like
it's tough.
It's not quite silent. It's just a little bit there, like lasagna, right? You know how to say lasagna.
Yeah, lasagna. What if I just did it to troll you and just be like lasagna? Like, what if I just made a slur?
But there's a G in lasagna, right? And we know how to say it.
It's a top G.
But you don't actually pronounce the G. It's lasagna.
Lasagna.
You put it in your throat.
Yanya.
So calorie.
You just
you
put
it in your throat a little bit. Yeah, shove it down your throat a little bit and you're good.
You want to do the hand motions for it? You want to give the viewers an idea on how to do it? Oh boy. All right. I won't talk about transfers because we have a game tomorrow and because directors Mana and Giuntoli are in charge of it. I'm not entitled to say the best destination for Kean. Currently, he is a Juventus player, and I am happy for what he's done first part of the season, even if he's been out for a few days. Fiorentina or Monza. Allegri provided more of a squad update than what he had in mind for his team selection for tomorrow's game, with note that he didn't think Cambiaso would be starting, given that he was just returning from the flu. I haven't decided Gatti and Bremer will play. I will pick one between Rugani and Danilo, so one of them is going to get benched, and I am putting my money on Danilo. I will see how everyone feels tomorrow. Weah and Kostic will start, so all the Kostic people can groan in disappointment because Illing will not start. Or Illing will start over Weah, which is interesting. Don't really understand that why.
I have a feel. I think Illing's starting. I just think he is.
He says Cambiaso will play in the midfield, central midfield. The most important thing is that everyone's fit because substitutions will be crucial. Rabiot will be available for Sassuolo. We'll see. There are good chances. I hope so. I hope it's just this game because you cannot miss Rabiot for an extended spell.
Yeah, and Sassuolo is a bit of our dark horse this year, aren't they? That 4-0.
Yeah.
Our outlier.
They're the shithouse team of the season because they'll play really shitty and then they'll play really good against good teams. I don't know why. And then as for tomorrow's opponents, Allegri, as he usually does, I like how this writer says it, as he usually does, preached caution. We'll play against a team that scored twice in the last game despite being 3 goals down and could have equalized. It's a unique chance for them to reach the semis and beat Juventus. So tomorrow we need commitment. We need to respect the opponent. Coppa Italia is an important target for Juventus. Frosinone score in every game, and they cause trouble. So we have to put in high-level performance. We have been conceding goals too easily. I think you guys are aware of it, and we are working on this. So, Danilo, go ahead.
Sorry, just a correction here because Ellie's saying Illing's a bit injured. I believe you're correct, and I did forget about that. Thanks for bringing it up. I think he's got a slight knock, nothing too serious, but it might keep him on the bench for the start. So, on that note, yeah, maybe I retract that last statement.
So this is breaking news-ish. Maybe I'm a little bit late to reading that. Yeah, it's about an hour or so ago. Big ups go to this is from Bepe's Telegram from Moel Tactico. If you guys know who Moel Tactico is,
Mohammed El Shalani.
Yeah, Sharawi.
Who knows how bad we
Moise Kean has rejected Monza, so Monza is officially off the table.
I mean, why would you go to Monza?
I do like the joke that Beppe put in after. Tip of the cat to you, Mr. Bogiani. He says Monza's
now there's a name that's got the G, and you just kind of messed it up.
Bogiani?
Bognani.
So I'm supposed to say the G there? Yeah, because he's a top
put it in your throat.
He's a top
Bognani. Okay, anyways, go.
All right. So he says Monza's asking for Illing and Kean, and they have rejected. Juve have rejected both. I guess Juve still petty about the two games against them. I'm still trying to find a projected starting lineups, but there hasn't really been anything.
There really hasn't been anything.
So, there's nothing there.
We've heard like who is not injured and who is injured. That's what we have to go with.
So, because I know Dusan had the flu. That was one of the things I've heard.
But apparently he was going to be okay. So do they know this is like one of these 24-hour flus because it's kind of rolling through?
Yeah. Did they give him a Pedialyte? Like, is that what happened? Like, you got the Pedialyte or something?
Did Vlahovic's girlfriend
give him
used to be somebody else's girlfriend?
Did she give him the sweats?
Who knows what's going on? But David, big ups. He's given big old memberships here. I gotta go and check out who that is. Give me a quick second here. I gotta go onto actual YouTube. It doesn't show me because of reasons. I don't know. Tal's got it. Which better man to have it? There you go. I mean, I don't know why he isn't already, but there he is.
I was just about to say.
Why not create our own projected lineup? So why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at SofaScore and see if they give me anything projected for tomorrow, and they do.
Sofa's on point.
So yeah, Sofa apparently get your shit together, Fat Mob.
Okay, so I'm just gonna guess.
Okay. I'm not gonna show anything. You guess.
I know. I want to see if I can do this.
Vlad says, why not create our own projected lineups? Because we're broke and we don't have a graphical editor.
Or are you saying to do,
or, you could chip in on Discord and do it?
It's not so much that. It's just that it's one of those things that everyone else is already doing it.
And it seems repetitive.
Yes. So we rather focus on doing our own thing than just doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. Because it's just a focus of efforts, right? It's basically just me and Dash, and we both also really hate our jobs because they don't let us do this full time. So if that's what you're talking about, but right now we'll do projected lineups, and I'm going to go right off the dome. I'm going to say Bremer, Drugani.
Okay.
Gatti has to get some confidence back up. He goes back in. Along the left. Okay, so we know Cost. Did he say Kostic is not playing?
Oh, I said he is.
He is playing. So it is Kostic. It is Kostic there. Then we're going to have Locatelli.
Okay.
Hans.
Oh, okay.
Mac.
Okay.
Weah.
Okay. Are your top two strikers?
Gildas and Milik.
All right, you got everything right besides the midfield.
Ooh, Cambiasso. Okay, interesting.
All right, so some notables that I'm going to tell you guys so you guys have some context. Federico Gatti is on a suspension against Sassuolo, will not be present for that. Weston McKennie suspended.
That's a good call. Yeah.
Will not be there as well.
Yep.
So those two are your locks. They're going to start this game just because of the accumulation of yellow cards, take them out of the Sassuolo match. So might as well give them their full run here. Kenan Yildiz and Milik makes sense because I don't have any news if Dusan recovered from his flu or if his girlfriend made him sweat it all out doing the what. So you have Locatelli that's going to be holding it down because Loca will be back in full action. And then you'll have Cambiaso. I don't know if he starts. So maybe
That's interesting.
Maybe
I'm
you
not
have
going to say
Han.
he can't play a central midfield, but why?
Or as Vlad would say, Nonger.
Yeah.
Nonger as well. There's an opportunity for Nonger. As much as I'd love to throw in Luis Hassa, he is not there, but he did sign an extension, pushing him up to
Hans.
2028.
Hans is healthy, no?
Hans is healthy. Hans could come in.
Yeah.
The midfield's a big question. Let's be honest with you. The midfield's a big question. The one thing that I'm thinking that I don't really agree with what I'm seeing here is I would assume that McKennie plays. So your midfield is going to be Miretti, Locatelli, McKennie, and then your right wing back is going to be Weah. I think that's what it's going to be. Obviously, with Frosinone, it's interesting because it's projecting them in a back three, but I've never seen them play in a back three. I could be totally wrong here. I'm not a Frosinone expert. Vlad says I'm under influence. Go get some Pedialyte, get some electrolytes, some ginger tea. Or
I have a feeling it's more like I'm under the influenza. Like he's drunk or something.
I hate him so much. Love-hate relationship with Vlad.
I feel like he might be trolling a little.
Vlad is a master troll. Vlad will come in and just one-liners. Like you'll just be going. Dave and I will go for like an hour 20 minutes, and Vlad pops out of nowhere, zinger of a one-liner, and everyone's like, "Well, shit, Vlad's here. Hi, Vlad, what's going on?" And Vlad's like, "Yeah." Like I feel like whether Vlad's watching us on his phone or his computer, I feel like he just sits there and lurks and just waits for the right opportunity to strike. It's actually really funny.
I feel like he has one of those dark rooms in his mother's basement with 17 screens.
No, I don't think. He says, "No, I'm sick for real, but getting better." Well, I hope you do get better, buddy. We love you. So Helicopter says, but Moretti needs continuity to improve. I see him starting ahead of Hans. That's what I'm thinking as well, Ellie. I think it's going to be a midfield trio of McKennie, Moretti, and Loca. I think that's what your midfield three is going to be for sure.
And see, that's a problem. That's kind of a knock on my character. I kind of forgot about Moretti.
Dave's like, he exists?
It's been a while. Here? I know. Okay, it hasn't been a while. He has played. But you don't notice him. He's been very forgettable.
LJJ says, why Rugani never get flu? Have you seen his fiance?
Yeah,
that's why.
Takes care of him.
Really good care of him. David says, because Rugani's built by brick stones.
Is that to say he was built by Gatti?
He was built by Gatti. Gatti laid Rugani. Oh man, it's like, hey, the Walgani, and then everyone's like, what made Walgani? And you just see a picture of Gatti just putting the mortar on it. Oh, that'd be such a hilarious meme. Vlad says it's because sometimes I miss the first half of live streams.
I've even put the notifications in Discord.
They're actually working a lot better. The YouTube notifications are working better.
Another reason to hit the Discord, if you find that YouTube is trash and doesn't tell you that that we're alive, which you should be clicking that bell icon so you know, so YouTube can fail you, and then you have the backup plan of being in our Discord, which will also tell you.
Discord's a fun place to be, especially now that should I mention that Beppe has joined our Discord as well?
Yeah, he's maybe he's just spying on us. He hasn't said anything yet. He's just like observing.
No, he did.
Did he?
He gave a fist bump when everyone saw, like, oh my God, Bepe's here.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed it, yeah, because you're busy falling asleep. Yeah, so
I was just talking to him on WhatsApp, so whatever. Fuck you.
But yeah, no, it's funny. Beppe is in our actual Discord too as well. So when he has time, he said he'll try to communicate with some of you guys as well too. So LJJ says, I haven't figured out how to use Discord. LJJ, we got to show you how to do it. Better yet, Dave, do you mind throwing the Discord link in the chat? Click the link and you'll be able to join. Create an account and you'll be able to join the server instead of doing the barcode stuff.
Yeah, so there's the barcode, but I am getting a fresh link for you as well. Oh man. See, that big notification is in my way now. telling me that the show was live. So
That's what she said.
It's working.
And then Tall says LJJ, it's just WhatsApp for nerds.
Yeah, but it's got video and all that fun jazz.
Yeah, we got a bunch of fun stuff that go on there. I have a bunch of shenanigans, and
sometimes we'll stream like playing video if there's a new game and we have it, like we'll play it, or like if the ladies are playing, or like some of those weird things that nobody can watch. We'll watch things.
Yeah. So it's a great community. I recommend folks that if you don't have Discord but you want to be part of a group where it's Juve talk and some other stuff talk as well. There's multiple thread rooms, but it's very active. A lot of people. The idea is when we created it, we wanted it to be where it's community driven, not me and Dave making 100 bots to spam the chats and everything. So
as you can see, Sal, Jeff, Tall, Misak,
Bones, Frankie, the whole cast.
This is just Dave. This morning right now, right? And we have all kinds, general, we always post the YouTube videos, just general. Okay, America. I guess I clearly haven't some of this.
Dave, change it. Dave, change
this is hilarious.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
Oh man.
See, I told you, Vlad always makes a zinger, and that was something that Vlad shared. Yeah, but again, there's news. The material that we use for our tinfoil hat show as well. That's stuff where like the viewers, you guys throw stuff in there if you guys want us to react to it as well. Oh man, Jesus Christ. All right, so let's get back to the game here. We segued long enough to promote Discord. So I think the one thing here, Juve playing at home, Frosinone are gonna low block or make an attempt at being a low block. So really, it's not going to be Frosinone outplaying us, as people say. They'll have Juve, I think, will give them possession just to wait for them to mess up. Obviously, I think never again open the BS and things get left.
I was just clicking buttons and that popped up.
You waited for it to rise. You waited for it to rise.
I didn't even see it at first, and then it popped in my face.
Yeah, it literally popped. So Frosinone, and he says that's the next short you need to make. That's perfect. Yeah, I got it.
Twitter Discord. It's just.
All right,
we'll get all the best people in from Twitter when we post that one.
I know, right? So with this, you're obviously Frosinone is going to go for this game. They're going to try to make an attempt to win this game because they're not in the relegation zone, so they can play their main players, and that's what they're thinking, right? I think you're going to see Kyle George. What they're saying you're going to see is Kyle George, Sule, and Ibrahimovic with Benenachea there as well. With Frosinone, right? Frosinone's defense is not the greatest. They concede a lot of goals. However, they find a way to score a lot of goals. So I think it's going to be more so how Juve handle their gaffes in the back. So what I think, and this is a hot take, I think Rugani is going to start over Danilo on that left side because I think Allegri wants Danilo to kind of not be benched, but I think he wants Rugani to hold the defensive stability with Kostic because you have two older guys and the pace, and you have Sule coming in at that edge. It's just not going to be great. Obviously, the one thing you got to do to handle Sule, and I think Rabiot gave everybody the cheat sheet for it, is you need to be physical, be in his face, be aggressive, be on him. That's really the main way that you stop Sule offensively. I think if you're able to cut off Sule, you're essentially cutting off Frosinone's attack because I believe it was Opta, right, Dave? Opta said Sule got 40, 40, 40, 40, right? 40 touches, 40 dribbles, 40 shots, and
basically
whatnot.
Just
spamming.
He's just amazing is basically what they said.
So that kind of gives you essentially an indicator, right? Where it says he's getting the ball and he's their main outlet. So if I'm scheming against him, I find a way to make sure that he does not touch the ball. So yeah, I think you're going to probably see a man mark. I think the more common thing that I have a hunch on is and then David, we'll get to that later, David. It's going to be, I think Cambiasso is going to man mark him. That's one thing that I'm thinking that I could see as far as a tactical approach on it. But other than that, I think you take Sule out of the game. You essentially take Frosinone out of the game because he's their main playmaker. However, I do want to indicate this, right? 40 shots this season and only 4 non-penalty goals. So his shot conversion is not the greatest. Though it only takes one to burn you, right? But let's just figure a way how to isolate him from the game so he doesn't get the ball, and then we move from there. Other than that, I think this game should be, I don't want to say easy. I don't want to say it's not going to be Salernitana in Salerno hard. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think, no, Eliad, he said he's not sure between, because he's asking here. Wait, didn't he say 2 out of the 3 is Bremer and Danilo 100%? Maybe I misread that. It's going to be Bremer and Gatti. He's not sure between Rugani and Danilo. That's the main question there. Tal says Sule needs to put on 40 pounds, needs to be a big boy. Vlad says that's why I want Noje to start. He knows Sule well. He was his teammate in the academy team.
Yeah, there might be something to that.
We are Juve. We're pros at not getting the ball forward to the forwards. I see what he did there. Bones, you crafty devil. But overall, I think 2-0, maybe a 3-0. I'm going to probably throw a 2-0 win here. I would be very, very shocked. Juve's at home. You have, a near sellout crowd.
Which, by the way, we have ridiculous stats that came out. It's like 97% attendance.
Only Genoa's ahead of us.
Yeah, we're killing it. We're killing it for attendance this year.
So I think the key of the game, two main factors here. Isolate Sule and cut off Bernace's passing lanes.
It's crazy. It's crazy that we have to cut out our own players, essentially.
Take out your own guys. Take out your own kids, essentially. Sal says kids too raw to start in a winner-take-all match. Oh, for Norge.
Yeah, I feel the same. Absolutely substitute him in.
I could see him get subbed in with the current issue, with the current depth. Eliad says, sorry, late and lurking on my phone in bed as well. It's 1 a.m. here. Yes, I am the last thing he listens to before he goes to bed. That is an accomplishment.
Is it Hungary you're at? Because you were speaking or translating Hungarian. So let us know if it's Hungary. Because that just expands our reach around the world, if you will.
Let's go. LJJ just joined the Discord server. Hello.
Oh, snap.
He's got that ping. All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up what my thoughts are for the Frosinone match. I think it's time to get to what everybody really wants to get to. Let's get into the tinfoil hat segment of the show. We got a lot of news and a lot of crazy things to cover here. Dave, is there anything you want to open up with?
Let's see. There's more that got thrown into the Wednesday stuff. I didn't have anything pressing this week personally. Like, I'm not as fired up like I was last week.
You don't want to open up with Bonucci?
Well, I got lazy today, and I just want to reuse Bonucci. And not that I got lazy, it's just I want to reuse Bonucci because I think it's hilarious. But he really isn't the headliner in that sense. So I think we can talk about Bonucci.
Yeah, let's go for it. Because I don't think Bonucci's when is Bonucci ever a headliner at this point?
For the wrong reasons, he is, yes.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything wrong. I know a lot of people are trashing him in this. So he's going to Fenerbahce.
Yeah. He's going to who our friends at the Lions Den hate with a burning passion.
Which I have reached out to. We're going to see if any of the anybody in the depth charts at the Lions Den is available, because unfortunately they're a little busy right now. They'll see. Yeah, getting back to us. So hold up on that. We will try to get them on if they can. Otherwise, I've asked him for some articles as well, if he knows of any good articles to talk about the Turkish Cup thing. This was brought up by Vlad. There was a bunch of stuff that happened in Turkey, but if we'll save that anyways. But Bonucci's going to Turkey regardless. That's why we're talking.
Look, to be honest with you guys, it's a desperate attempt for him to get on the Euro squad.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
All it is. He still thinks, and I guess this is the crazy thing of all of it. He thinks that he's going to make making Spalletti squad. Who here doesn't think that's insane?
I think put a 1 in the chat if you think Bonucci's not going to make the Euro squad. Put a 1 in the chat. Look, I'm a little bit torn on this, right? Part of me is like, dude, just retire.
Romania.
Let it go.
It's Romania. That's cool. Transylvania,
look at the whole Balkans in the chat. Like, seriously.
Are they considered Balkan as well?
Yeah, Romania's technically.
Because I know they're kind of off that.
Because you have me, you have Albania, then you have Macedonia, and then you have Greece, then you have Serbia, then you have Montenegro, then you have. So Romania's like over to the east of us in a sense.
Yeah, but it's starting to get into like mainland Europe too. It's kind of like on the fringe, maybe. I don't know. Well, Elon, you're from there.
Yeah, they're technically in the Balkan Peninsula. They're on the eastern.
I'm asking you, Elon, do you identify as a Balkan? Let us know. Just for like a geographical, like sociological standpoint. I'm interested in this kind of stuff.
Vlad wants to confirm and says Romania is Balkan.
Okay, Vlad's confirming.
And Antonio says Berna is the same concept. I'm sure he wants to go play for Juve. I'm sure for the Euros as well. I think
he needs to get the fuck out of Toronto.
That's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to find a way to get out of Toronto. I think with Bernadeschi, he realized he fucked up by going to Toronto, and because this was the issue with Bernadeschi back then. Bernadeschi wanted, because Berna was on roughly about 5 million. He wanted a raise, and they're all like Arriva Bene and Cherubini, like, what? Yeah, I want a raise. Well done. Come on, give me 6 million. Like, he wanted a raise, and then the Juve management's like, dude, like, the door's that way. Like, get out of here.
Let's put this in perspective as well. The project at Toronto, especially with Insigne coming as well, and you had Genoa left back. Oh, why can't I think of his name? There was another Italian, and his name is just slipping me right now, and I hate myself for it because I actually kind of like him. But there was the three of them, and I did get to see him play, but unfortunately that was at the end just because the seasons are offset. It was at the end of that season, but the rebuild was to build over the offseason into the next season with Bob Bradley, the coach, the captain of the team, Michael Bradley, the son. Crescito, thank you so much. Tony Trim. Yes, Crescito was also, and I kid you not, he made everything move off the back line. Everything went through Crescito and up the pitch from there. Because the rest of the center, the defending in the MLS is trash. Crescito was the only legit defender on that team. But he did leave for the next year. Unfortunately, he did go back to Italy. But that project was amazing. It was supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
It has the floor is completely rotted out underneath it. Everyone's fired. It is just a complete, utter rebuild. And Bernadeschi's there like, well, fuck.
It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I here? I want to go home. So I think we can touch on that, right? So because we're talking about Bernadeschi, so let's go with another topic here. So Kostic being linked to Saudi clubs. So there's talks, statements, shenanigans, shit in general of Kostic being wanted by Saudi. And look, I don't really think there's much water to that. If you want my honest reaction to that, I don't think Saudi is really looking for anything. If they do, it's going to be a Hail Mary.
Have we not heard the latest about Saudi? That all the players are pissed off and want to go back home?
Oh, they're not good in the Saudi? They want to leave the Saudi?
There was even a link of Henderson coming, and we've turned it down, but like Henderson agents was shopping around, and Juventus was one of the teams he shopped at because he wants to get the fuck out of Saudi.
You guys, dude, it's like Henderson's agent still thinks that Juve's in like 2019, where they just signed a bunch of old ass free agents.
How old is he now, Henderson?
He's like mid-30s. He's up there. He's like, hello, Juve. Would you like to purchase my client here? He's perfectly your age requirements and also demanding a high wage. Is 33. Fabio Paratici still your manager?
Yeah, 33. So he's not horribly old, but he's up there.
Pretty old, especially when the guy's physical capabilities fell off a cliff.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a hard no. That's like getting Aaron Ramsey back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remember that train wreck?
Holy smokes. Yeah. Now that's you want a train wreck. Aaron Ramsey to
Oh, and look,
Juventus.
Elon, he comes in, not falling for the Ramsey trap.
It's a Ramsey trap. Ah, man. Whoops, skipped it. Vlad says, I think there's a higher chance Kostic goes to Turkey than Saudi.
Probably,
Yeah,
I
who
would
knows?
agree.
Bonucci could convince Fenerbahce to buy him, or I don't know, maybe. Jeff says, yo. Well, that just seems very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Davide, there's another Dave. We have a
Another
Davide
group.
now. We have multiple Daves. I got a bad feeling about this game. Davide, calma.
Okay, so we have
Tranquilo.
Canuck Dave, we have Itai Dave, and we have German Dave.
Yeah, we have the German Dave.
I'm assuming Davide. I mean, you seem
I
pretty Italian by your name.
I would assume, you know what happens when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, okay?
Okay,
But
easy there, man.
he's there. All right. So German Dave says, if they get me Gabri Viega from Saudi, I'd like that. Bone says, woo, who? Ellie says, is Henderson still playing? Yeah, he's playing in Saudi.
We're talking about Gabri from the previous.
Sal, if I have to hear one more person tell me that Ramsey was a good move because he came on a free, I'll pop a gasket. Hey, tell me you're old without telling me you're old with that pop a gasket comment. This is that and grind my gears. Jeff says, nah, I feel good about tomorrow's game. And then Danilo says, Danilo, Davide says, Danilo and Kostic on the left worry me. Davide, unfortunately, you probably weren't here when we covered the pregame stuff. You will not have to worry because it looks like it's trending for Rugani to start over Danilo against Frosinone tomorrow. LJJ says,
this is not what you expect. This is a trap.
What?
This is a trap.
They've
just recently they've actually they've added on to this. They've explained it further. I don't have the right word to say what I'm trying to say, so I'm just gonna say it. It's 20% of the profit of the plusvalenza of the sale.
Okay.
And that is gonna turn out to be about 4.3 million, I believe it was off the top of my dome. Which is 20% of that. So it's like a million. That's how I read it. That's how I interpreted it anyways.
You read it right?
Let me pull it up.
I'm gonna, because I think Dave or German Dave put it in the Sal or German Dave, someone. So Agresti says, so Sal posted in the Discord, Agresti 20% that Juventus will have to receive from the passage for the Tottenham deal is not based on the amount, but rather the positive effect generated by the operation, 4.2 million. So 20% of that? That's interesting. It's kind of a shitty contract.
Yes, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
not. I'm gonna, So you know what we're gonna do, folks? Until the transfer deal is completely covered and done, we won't really go into the details anymore because we don't want to react to something that's it's a mess.
This one has been, in particular, and Jallo as well has been a bit of a mess.
Yeah, well, it's apparently the ball's in his court, right? Allegedly.
Yeah, apparently. Everything's apparently. That's the whole point, is that everything's a mess. Everything's apparently, and it kind of changes a little bit each day. I heard AJC they had a short that had reported it at 7 mil, like with the bonuses upwards to 7 mil. Which I haven't heard. I like that number. I haven't heard.
What the hell was he valued that you're only making a 4.2 plus Valenza on it? That's what I don't understand.
How much they bought him for and how much
he was free.
That's
he came in through the youth academy. We never sold him and then bought him back.
That definitely deserves, instead of us speculating, that definitely deserves us to do a little more homework.
Yeah, that might be something that we might have.
This is funny. It's got some funny business to it.
Because here's my suspicion. For the folks saying that they're worried about Diallo possibly flopping, the deal breaking through, Juve will not make a move on him until the Dragusin deal is done. That is my initial temptation, because look, my thoughts, my opinion. I think They're planning on using money that's received from the Dragusin deal to fund the Jalo deal.
Now, is that again? This is speculation.
It's all speculation.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody definitively coming out and say this. This is a speculative thought.
I forgot to timestamp this. Damn it. Unacceptable. So, because like as German Dave says here, until Dragusin or Ranocchia get moved, I don't think Jalo gets finalized. I think they're purposely kind of drawing it out to get this because I don't think Giuntoli wants to allocate the money that's coming from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll happen. I think it's just gonna take some time. Sal says it's based on the positive net effect on Genoa's book, not Juve's. Wait, how much did they get him for? They gave us Cambiasso, who was what, valued at 7 million.
The number I saw was it's 4.3.
That's what I've been seeing too, but I'm trying to figure out. So I'm gonna ask someone to do homework real quick. How much they actually, because that's what I'm confused for. Because if Eliad says we got 5 million for Dragu, but then you also got Cambiasso as part of it, right? Yeah, was Cambiasso, so here, let me ask you this. Was Cambiasso part of the initial deal with Dragusin in Genoa?
Good question. Yeah,
because that changes the value of it entirely. Because you add Cambiasso's value to what they paid.
You know what? And this is why we have court cases in Italy over transfers like
for That's why we got docked 10 points, allegedly.
Yes, it was a 5.5 million fee Juve to Genoa.
Because so, like for example, here, let's catch up here. David says, chill, it's all good. That Vlad says, remember when you talked a while ago how no one slide tackles anymore? Giallo is a slide tackler. He slides like a mother effer.
Nice.
Good. Eliad says we got 5 mil. The rest is bonus. Ellie says Cambiasso was a different deal. Cambiasso cost around 24. Because here's why I say that, right? Because I'm thinking if Cambiasso is playing a factor into this deal, his value, then the 4 point whatever that they're getting makes sense because they're compounding. So Dragusin went for 5.5 mil. Yeah. So then that means the plus Valenza on Genoa's books is going to be 24. Because if Genoa paid 5.5 million for him, and then they sold him for 30, that's 24. So 20% of that should be higher than 4.5, unless I can't do math.
4.8.
Oh, so
it's 20% of 24. So maybe slightly less than that. Yeah.
I can't do math. All right. Well, I am officially retiring as an engineer because I cannot do math in my head. All right. My dumbass.
You have AI to do your job now, don't you?
I do. That's why, like, people look at me like, you don't know how to spell. I'm like, the fuck? That's why we created autofill for. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, you'd like autofill, don't you?
I do. It's my favorite. So from the press, so this is what Sal pulled up the actual documentation. The agreed consideration of the definitive acquisition is 5.5, payable in 2 years, contract with the player. Antonio says, are we getting a midfielder this Mercato? We're going to talk about this because there's some speculation that's going on, and this is a tinfoil hat show. We're going to have some shit and fun and games with this one.
It's a bit of a loaded question.
Someone's coming back. Somebody might be coming back. Tony Trim says Genoa is also getting Dijed Spence on loan, according to Romano. Cambiasso got bought for 12.85. Okay, thank you, Jeff. Sal says, furthermore, a maximum of 1.8 of a cumulus bonus are envisioned on the achievement of sporting performance objectives.
Is this all coming in as we're going live?
Yeah, it's all coming in as we're talking. Jesus. I told you guys we're a community-driven channel. Everybody pitches in. David says, I think it's separate deals, but it happened for the same in the book of balancing stuff. Tony says Spence on loan with the option to buy for Genoa. Ellie says, according to Transfer Market, 3.5 million for the loan, 8 million for the purchase, which is 11.5 for Dragusin. And she says, no, I am wrong. Well, damn, I shouldn't have read it.
How are you wrong? Now we don't know.
Now we're back to square one. Vlad says Cambiasso is one of the smartest money spent in years. Absolutely. Sal says no, part of the original press release when we completed the sale to Genoa. Oh, okay.
Oh, you went to the press release. Okay,
I went to the presser. Nice. Antonio says, is Pogba coming back? I like Copenhagen, but I doubt it.
That is another thing too. Just that's what you want. You know what? I just drank a beer, so I'll just remove myself and I'll simmer down.
All right. So, well, shit, he left me here all by myself again. Eliad says, I like how it all turned out. We got Cambiasso and Gatti now, and I'm happy. David said, no, the loan fee is not included in any way of the side. So the 5.5 is the important number, or is the end all be all. All right. So there's a couple of interesting things about midfielders that I kind of want to talk to you guys about. So one thing is the good old Serbian Lazar. Juve apparently want Lazar for June. This is one of the reasons why it's not done yet with Napoli, because I believe Udinese and Juve are trying to convince him to wait until June. I think that might be one of the reasons why Lazar Samarzic has not signed for anybody yet. Napoli looking like it was in the way clear, but apparently his dad was just like, nah, you're not going to the Neapolitans. So I don't really know what's going on with Lazar. They're saying, Jill, if anything, it's going to be in June when Juve pick him up. I'm a little bit impartial to it. I don't know really too much what's going on. I know Napoli wanted him really bad and we're trying to make a move for him, but that's really it for him. There's not really any updates there. And then Vlad, or let me read some of this. Jeff said, so we sold Dragostin for 5. Yes, we did. He did now left you like AEW. My Berlin boy. David says, I think we may want to. He wants to play Champions League in a way bigger club of Tottenham instead of Bayern. That just doesn't make sense to me. Vlad says Tottenham is becoming UVB, Romero, Kulu, Benton, Dragostin. And Sal says, for anyone who would care to read the full statement. I kind of want to talk about Dragostin because IFTV was posting this tweet about it, and I kind of thought it was ironic and interesting in a sense, because they were saying that there is no defender or Dragostin has not been dribbled past at all this season. And I kind of find it ironic when you make a tweet like that, because they did the same thing about Van Dijk a while ago. So let me give you guys a little bit of an insight on how Genoa play. Genoa is very, very into the low block. They sit deep and they wait for you to come through them and play over the top. So when you're a center back in a system that forces you to play very, very deep, nobody dribbles through the middle. You want to know why? Because there's at least 3 to 4 players that will be there to inhibit you from dribbling through the middle. No one's really going to try to dribble Dragostin. It's not me saying that he's bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just kind of giving context to that tweet. Because how do you beat a low block team? You pin them deep, you put numbers in the box, and you send crosses in, and you hope you get behind one of them. A low block team is a very, very difficult team to break down. The only way you break down a low blocking team is if you catch them by making a mistake, by doing a high press or an error. You don't dribble through low block defenders. It's virtually your margin, your percentage of completed dribbles is very, very low. I understand that Dragostin is playing quite well. I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm not saying that he's overrated. But I think it's one of those things where we need to put a little bit of context into this. That's why Dave and I don't like reporting the news, because people will take stuff like that and just blast it. I don't think it's a narrative, right? I don't think it's this narrative of making Dragostin bigger than he is. I just think you're taking a single isolated stat and you're using it to paint something that doesn't really make sense, right? Because you need to provide context. When you're talking about anything in general, you have to provide proper context, because it's like, Dragostin doesn't get dribbled by. Okay, why is that? He plays for Genoa. Genoa employ a low block, which means there's always 3 to 4 people around Dragostin. So again, if I'm a player with half a brain, I'm not dribbling through 4 guys with my head down, unless you're Federico Chiesa. I had to throw that joke in there. I'm kidding.
It was on point. It's fine.
But yeah, it's very difficult. Archula says we have some great talent like Dragostin, but we let him go for someone like Gatti, which with all due respect, will never be a high-class defender.
I think he's already on that trajectory.
I don't think Dragostin is going to be a high-class defender either, though.
I would. Okay, they're for one, they're different profiles. And,
they're very different.
And
very,
for
very
two,
different.
It's not all about the stats. And there's one thing that I always champion in my dialogue here is the human aspect of this game. Because too often we just look at these players like it's a FIFA game, right? And just stats and numbers. And sure, they're metrics. It's something to talk about. It's a way to approach the subject, sure, but they are humans at the end of the day. And if you look at how much heart and soul this guy has for this team and how he will essentially take a bullet for this team, that shit is irreplaceable, and you can't just find that. It's almost goddamn impossible to find that shit these days, because I'm gonna say it, call me a boomer, the kids are soft these days, straight up. So and Gatti is one tough motherfucker, and you don't find that shit just anywhere, and you keep them.
And I
So
think
on that alone.
I think the other thing too, because like for example, it's the same like Dean, right? Like Dean and Dragosin are essentially in the same role. I think with Dragosin, I think maybe Juve just didn't think that his ceiling is high, and that kind of explains it, right? Because when you have an option to go to Bayern versus Tottenham, he chose Tottenham. Which right now Bayern is having a center back crisis, and I know German Dave can confirm that for me. So it's like it kind of makes you wonder, right? Because Kim Min Jae from Napoli went to Bayern Munich for 30 mil, and he was like, "Shit, I'm gone. I'm going." So
That's so, I mean,
look,
30 mil.
yeah, you're going to Bayern Munich versus Tottenham. Like, why would you not? Unless you know that it's not really, unless you don't think that you have a shot at making and getting a starting gig. I mean, oh God, he's going to have to compete against the benched.
Plaid too. This is actually a funny point from Plaid. Poor Radu, he doesn't want to win a trophy in his career. Tottenham, I mean, they had that 1 year, but
yeah, that's the one. I just don't understand that logic why he did that. David said they act like he's Virgil van Dijk because he won 10 1v1 duels. Helicopter says if Dragosin stayed at Juve, he would have never developed into his general level. Exactly. Bayern Munich wanted Dragosin, and I'm sure he has much more than Gatti. Look, if you think that, we'll see. Yeah. But he didn't take it. That's the other thing too. You have to take into effect.
But that's what I'm saying. Even if Dragusin is going to be a better profile, is he going to put the heart into the Juventus team? Like, what's best for Juventus? And Dragusin, from what I saw when he was playing for us, didn't have the right mindset, the right mentality for this team. Whereas
let me tell you this, because someone put in a comment here that he's a box bully. Sal put it that he is.
Who Dragusin or
yeah. Who's our most aggressive defender in the box right now? Starts with a B, ends with an R. Bremer.
I mean, even Daniil, they're all pretty aggressive.
But I'm saying, like, who's your main physical specimen? It's Bremer, right?
Center back. Yeah, he's
the
one.
So when you're playing a back three system, you can't have two very physical guys, because then you run the risk of getting carded and them getting stupid yellow cards.
And then you're a bit slower too.
You're a bit slower. So Gatti offers two-dimensional play. He's a two-way defender. He can contribute to the offensive end. He can contribute to the defensive end. Does he make some blunders? Yes, he makes some blunders, right? Like I said, I've said this before. He is a double-edged sword. Because the difference between Dragusin and Gatti is more tend to get you goals on the other end as well. He scores both sides. We'll leave it at that. I think from the trajectory, and I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, he was a bricklayer, it's an amazing feat. But you got to admit, Gatti coming in and earning his place essentially is pretty solid. Maybe you can say Dragusin is another Coman. I don't know. For me, I would just pipe it down, guys, because Dragusin had a hot 6-month spell right now at Genoa. He could, for all we know, he could go and flop. Because remember when everyone was telling me Romero, we lost out on Romero. Romero was this and this. Let's be honest. Is Romero a good defender? No. I don't think Christian Romero is an amazing defender. So, though he did really well, and I think Dave froze on me. Yeah, he froze on me. So, though I think he's showing great stuff, we got to relax on saying that he's going to blow up into this amazing defender, because he went to the Premier League where defense isn't really mattered upon that much. All right, reading some of these comments. Y'all think that Gatti starts for Italy in the Euro? Because if they start Castelli or Mancini over him at right center back, I swear I will cheer for Albania and Croatia. I don't think Gatti's going to start. I think you're going to get Acerbi, because I was listening to IFTV a little bit. They were saying Acerbi is one for sure, and then maybe Buongiorno is the other center back. Possibly that, or they're saying Bastoni or Darmian. There's like 3 inner center backs that apparently they're projecting, which I don't understand. I don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I'd be surprised if they don't call him up, but knowing our luck, I don't think they will. Don't get me wrong, I love Gotti, but he'll never be a Chiellini or 1/3 of him. You don't. It's hard, man. Come on, you got to be fair here, because Chiellini is a generational talent. Like, you're not gonna get, like, for me, if a defender is 10% of what Chiellini is, that's good. I just, for me, when you're comparing him to one of the best center backs ever, it's difficult, man. That's just not fair to him, because how many teams are in Europe? Over hundreds of teams. How many elite center backs right now are there in the world?
But
Maybe 10.
But
Maybe
even
10?
you let's just throw this conversation, because Ellie said Dragusin's a Coleman, but it'll never be as good as the Coleman. So you're saying Dragusin or Gatti? Well, they're both not generational talents.
Neither of them are.
You know,
Neither of them are. I don't think that neither of them are going to be a generational talent. I think Bremer might be one of the better physical Brazilian defenders that you'll see ever. Unfortunately, Brazil is stupid and they don't know how to play defense, and they will jip him every single time. But I don't think, like, for example, in my eyes, I've never envisioned Gotti as like a Chiellini play style. He's not the Chiellini play style. I want to iterate it. If you want to draw parallels, you can draw it with Bonucci more so than you can with,
and even
Gotti.
then it's a stretch.
It's a stretch. I think Gotti is developing his own style, his own thing. Like, me as a fan, I don't want to put him on that, because that's just not fair to him, because that's just not his game. That really isn't his game. LJJ says Tottenham will allow him to do mistakes, but Bayern would not, so he has less pressure at Tottenham. Again, it goes to show where the guy's mentality is. Dragusin said yes to Tottenham because of the Premier League salary bag he got, and if he is about winning, he would have turned on Tottenham.
Yeah, maybe truths about those comments. Yeah,
there is a little bit on both. So Eliad says there was already a Romanian flop center back at Spurs, Vlad
Sharsis. That one, I mean, come on, man. give us the phonetics on those names.
And he says, hey, don't forget that Dragusin scored against Inter, and I am very grateful for that. I am. Sal says Romeo is a red card. Romeo is a red card.
Yeah, bring up Romeo now.
Romeo is better than anything we have right now.
Romero.
That's a bit.
We're saying Romeo. It's Romero.
So, are you saying that Romeo? Romeo's better than Rugani? Statistically, why? I think that's a stretch. I think Romeo is another Mancini, in my opinion. Like a hothead that takes stupid fouls, stupid cards.
And again, this is what I'm saying. When Dragusin was playing, when Romero was playing, you look at the mentality. And I'm saying when they were playing for Juventus, you can still go and look at them now. And it's that bit of that lack of maturity in a sense, right? So you say Mancini, you look at Mancini, you're like, that he's a child.
He's not someone I'd want here.
And now Mancini, he's really bad. I'm not saying that either Gatti, Dragusin, these guys are as bad as Mancini. That I'm just using that as an example because it's easy to use the extreme as an example, right?
Yeah, love the straw man argument.
But Dragusin, Romero, yeah, their head just was not completely locked in. And knowing the way that Juve is as a club, yes, they're corporate, I understand, but as a result, they are professional, right? The players always show up dressed with the shirt and the tie. They're looking very professional. There's no bullshit essentially. And Romero, Dragusin, I think they bring a little bit of bullshit, and because of that, I'm not saying they're not great players, but again, it's about the team chemistry and how they work within the vision of the team, that like the overall vision, not just within the tactics of the coach, but like the management and that brand. Because I mean, Juventus is part of a bigger company, which is then part of a bigger company. You have to understand this, right? They can't have bums like Dragusin throwing the studs up all the time, just like we couldn't have Sarri chewing on cigarettes on the touchline.
It's just Romeo's a liability. That's why Juve never wanted to keep him. Romeo is a walking liability. This
is actually a good question. Yeah.
Why can't Rugani get a call up? That's very interesting because, like, Acerbi is better than Rugani. I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Turlby, man. Does anybody like him? No. Anybody? Hands up if you like him.
I think Inter used to like him. That's about it.
Give me a one if you like a Turlby.
Vlad says a lost Kim is still better than Delit, which is funny. Bone says no, he will be the first. Gatti will be great. You're right. I should not compare anyone to Chiellini. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, he is on a bit of a pedestal. Yeah.
David says because Kim put DeLitt on the debenched Vlad. Ellie says, but Gatti started playing a defender since 2 years. Yeah, he's recent. Very, very recent. I think 3 to 4 years. David says, poor Kim is a bit lost. DeLitt needs a new goddamn GPS. Cray Ray Cash, he went.
The pronunciation for that. Let's go back to it. It's way up there now.
Tal says, what are you smoking? I want some. Dragostin is very likely a flop for Tottenham. Gatti may have defensive mistakes, but he compensates for the intensity. And I say his offensive contributions to the game
and the clutch. I mean, there's
clutch, but I'd rather I want to give you footy terms. Like I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, he just runs and very intense. He gives you a dynamism on the right side of the field with McKennie and Cambiaso.
Now, those
three are very, very good together.
Speaking of clutch, I know this is a bit of a diversion, but apparently most of Lafich's goals come in clutch moments, game winners.
Yeah, apparently he
doesn't score much, but when he does,
he scores on the clutch. So what you're saying is we need to play shitty football, put him in clutch situations, and that's how we get the best out of him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess they cracked the code. He says no. Romeo won a World Cup. You can't compare him. I'm not gonna even. I'm not.
We're not comparing to Rugani. We're just asking. The question was why does Rugani start for the national?
No. So I said this. I said you're really gonna say Romeo's kind of a better defender than Rugani. I think Rugani's more composed and more solid. That was my argument. We're using a World Cup now. I don't think we can have
those are
really positive.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't think we can have a fruitful conversation with that.
So hold on. Who else?
The best Argentine center back is like being the smartest.
Okay, all right. Let's simmer down on that one.
Yeah, let's be.
Who else won a World Cup for Argentina?
The world's greatest goalkeeper that sucks in the Premier League.
Okay, but who else did?
Nicolas Otamendi.
I didn't even think about him. Okay, but who else did?
Rodrigo de Paul. Paulo Dybala.
He's good though. We like him.
Was it Paulo Dybala and Alejandro Gomez who only contributed like 5 minutes worth?
Di Maria.
Di Maria as well. But
remember that, there's a lot of bums. There's a lot of bums that won a World Cup. I'm just gonna say that.
Paredes is unironically.
Paredes, there's no name. That's what I was waiting for.
That's what you were waiting for?
That was what I was waiting for.
Crazy for him sending. There's a trick to that, people. Relax. Kelcho with Reno Zed is here saying, what's happening, guys? Buonasera. Hello. Antonio, who is the midfielder making the comeback? Like I said from before, we're going to get there, but you guys distracted me in the comments. We're going to get there. Jeff, with Dusan plays better, we need for Dusan to play better, we need Dash to be pissed and shit on him. Ellie says Dybala. Sal says Buonasera. Reno. Kulu Muyani, and then Tal says get the likes up. Okay, I finally caught up.
Yeah, do that. And if you do that, guess Dash is going to tell you who the prodigal son is.
Yeah, let's see how many likes we have. I'm going to pull this up here and take a gander. We only have 14. Let's get it up to 18. So just 4 more people to like the video. If we get it up to 18.
18, that's such an odd number. Make it 20 at least. Jesus.
20. It's
23 viewing. Let's go.
People. You want to be that aggressive? Okay, fine. Dave's just like, I'm ripping my clothes off. Like, okay, fine. Sure.
Okay, but tell him, honestly, tell him you're being dangling the carrot for quite a while.
17. Now. One more. Just give me one more. One more like. I can't believe I'm doing it. I feel like a dick. Like I'm gonna withhold information if you guys don't like this video. Like I just feel terrible.
No, I said that. So
you
I'm
did?
The dick. Yeah, I'm the dick.
Dave, you suck.
Okay, we'll say it. But let's go.
Okay, fine. I'm pulling this up. Okay. So I don't know. What is it? Mathis Pog? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Matthias Pog, I believe.
Matthias
I believe. I'm probably wrong there again.
So, look, I'm going to tell you guys this before. This is a disclaimer. You're going to get a disclaimer for this. And I have a disclaimer button for you. Somebody have some fun with this.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
I had to. I haven't used that in a while. All right. So, we're going to talk about this.
And yes, Caltro 3Z.
We have Zed. You have to say Zed.
Oh,
you said Z. You need to say a Z because you're gonna make Reno mad.
No, I don't. Yes, we're gonna do something. We're gonna put something together.
Yeah, we're gonna collab on something.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Holy shit, we hit 22. You guys are wild. All right,
I
now
love
I have
y'all.
to say it. All right, so Mathis Pog, and I will share the Twitter article.
You can't
What
call
is
it
the
again.
sexual situation? It's not
like Mateus to bench, not that hard dash.
not that hard.
I love it. I love it.
All right. So this is gonna be the main event of tonight's show. Take this with a grain of salt. He is his own source. He is I don't know if he's shithousing or trolling. I have no idea what's going on. This seems a little bit too good to be true, in my opinion, but it is what it is. I will talk about it and react to it, but I'm not going to say that this will happen. This is all speculation. You have been advised here. I want someone to take me out of context and throw some stupid shit in the comments.
Let's just have out of context dash. New segment.
Yeah. All right. So, with the disqualification reduced to 6 months, Paul Pogba will return to play in 2 months. With the disqualification being started in September, he has already served 4 months and will not start in February, or will not start from February, the trial month. This means that in March, Pogba will be able to return to play on the field. The octopus.
Yeah, the Il Porpo. Have you heard the term Il Porpo?
I guess it's for his hair.
I actually don't know why. So somebody let us know why. Maybe it was his hair. I never understood his name, but yeah. Anyways,
so he will play out his career next month. If not, Pogba already has a plan B. He will appeal to the court in Lausanne. The Frenchman has been training hard these months. So to give you guys context, because this happened with Palomino. Palomino was suspended for 6 months because of positive testosterone. It turned out the sample or the drug or whatever was a faulty drug, and he was held free essentially of any issues, right? So Pogba is trying to do the same thing. I believe they're saying that Pogba's Mateus himself has said that Pogba and his lawyers have found loopholes and whatnot to say it's more so like, he is able to find a loophole to say that it was a diluted test, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Because the other fact of the matter is he was suspended for 6 months. He's trying to get his sentence reduced or appealed or whatever for 6 months. Because what he's trying to say and what he is apparently, allegedly, he's saying that he was lied to for the supplement that he took. Like it was not his fault because he didn't know. It was whoever prepared whatever testosterone boost or whatever the hell he took.
Yeah, this will be interesting. They seem extremely confident that they can overturn this one.
Because allegedly, I believe that's what happened with Palomino and Alejandro Gomez. Because they both got essentially the same thing as Pogba did. Elliot said, I want to believe this since I saw the guys gave his picture in his locker room. United fans told me it's a toxic element. And that is one of the biggest fallacies I've ever heard, as when people say that Pogba's a locker room cancer. Pogba is the furthest thing from a locker room cancer. He is the Man United. And if I have any Man United folks listening, I apologize, but your club is a shithole. It is a shithole.
It's at least a shit house.
It is a shit house. It's an alligator fuck house. It is an absolute mess.
What's an alligator? Is this a Florida term?
It's a Florida term. You don't want to know. It is a mess. It really is.
Gators.
So whenever I hear someone from Manchester United tell me that a player is a locker room cancer, a toxic person, I mean like 2013 to now Manchester United, not like Man United under the Fergie days, because Fergie was a mean son bitch.
That was like a mystical fantasy.
That is a mystical fantasy. So if there's any merit to them saying, I don't believe that Paul is a locker room cancer. I think Paul has a phenomenal relationship with our players and Allegri as well. I mean, it's one of the reasons that Allegri wanted him back, and he wanted to come back because he wanted to be somewhere free of shit. Unfortunately, his body's not holding up. However, I do think with the 6 months off, I think this is perfect for him to recuperate his body. So if this is allegedly true,
have just been out for 6 months anyways, right?
Because he wasn't out for an injury. He was out because he just couldn't play. So that's not like he's recouping an injury. And I'm pretty sure he's been training. It says he's been training hard. I don't know when he'll be ball ready.
The fact of the matter is he is so extra on the ball. that even an unfit Pogba probably has something to offer, even if he comes in for 10 minutes at the end of the game, right? Just to open things up.
I'm going to be an asshole when I say this, but Pogba with one leg shits on all of our midfielders' creativity.
Yes, that's pretty. I was trying to be a little nicer about
I'm
it,
just gonna
but
be a
yes,
dick.
that's
Yeah,
pretty much what we're
Pogba.
trying to say.
Pogba on one leg to the creative aspect of the offensive game shits on anybody that we have. Shits on Kean Yildiz, shits on Federico Chiesa, shits on all of our creative players. Just one leg, Pogba, with what he can do with the ball. So, you guys asked me this question. You asked Dave and me this question at the beginning of the stream. Who do we sign as a midfielder? So, the reason I think, and this is me speculating, I don't know anything. I don't have any connections. I'm just a dude on a microphone. Because what was the one thing that Dave and I have been
That's a
consistently
microphone
saying?
in your mouth,
It
right?
is a big blue
Sorry,
dildo.
I thought
It's
okay.
a big blue cock. The thing that Dave and I were mentioning for the past couple of months is, why are we not really linked to midfielders? Why were we not linked to, like, hot, heavy midfielders in a sense in January?
And this is starting to get real tinfoily, right? Like
It is. And that's
like
why
this.
this is called. This is why this is called the
Ooh.
Tinfoil Hat Show.
Oh, hold on, guys.
So Dave's going to put it on. I'm going to remove this so you can fully see Dave with his hat, because, damn it, I forgot to timestamp this. I need to make a script out of it. Damn it. I need to do better. So, and we're going to play the music for it, because this is a true tinfoil hat thing. That's actually funny that you did that. So, what if, because let's be honest, the Lazar news, nothing changed. There's no progressive talks for Juve, none of this.
Yeah, Lazar is like off the radar. Not
off the radar. Who's been on the radar since that we've been looking at? So Juve tried for Coop Miners.
Atalanta denied. Yeah.
Atalanta said F off. They're not doing it. So Coop Miners is out. What happened to Højbjerg?
No
Højbjerg. He's gone. Rodrigo De Paul. Crickets. No one's talking about him.
And that was a lot to do with the fact that Diego didn't really want to let him go.
The only midfielder that we were, and then Jordan Henderson rejected.
Oh, come on.
No hesitation. Gintoli was like, get the F out of my face. So the only players that we've moved for is Adic, which is a next gen player, not a first team player. So he was not going to play with us at all. Fajoli is out until May. Calvin Phillips rejected. Allegri rejected him.
Okay, well, Berna's not technically rejected.
Berna's not technically. I don't
this
think
might actually still be a thing.
All saying rejected. So the more and more we look, there is literally next to nothing. And oh, by the way, Allegri is shutting down any move for Ailing Jr. to leave the team.
Phillips? See, we're already forgetting, guys.
Yeah, but Allegri turned Phillips down. Said he doesn't fit with what he wants to do.
Which I find a little bit. I think it's more. I thought personally it was more a money situation, but if Allegri says so, I thought he was maybe.
Yeah, no. Allegri said he doesn't fit the profile. He says he doesn't fit what he's trying to do. So Calvin Phillips is out. You have no other midfielders. Essentially that you're linked to. So, and this is why we played the tinfoil hat music, and this is why we're thinking, what if? Because did Juve ever terminate his contract?
Nope.
No, they did not. So, by my deductive reasoning, I believe that Juve suspected that Paul Pogba would not get in trouble for doping and expected him to be back some point during February or January, which is why they've cooled all talks for January midfielders.
Jesus Christ.
Was that good? I thought that was good. I thought it was funny.
It's just that voice, that accent in general just always gets me. I love it.
I was trying to do like a 70s detective. Or like, no, 50s or 60s.
No, it's like the 30s, the sleeth, like Dick Tracy.
Yeah. It's like the Roaring 20s. He's like, I believe.
Love it.
Because if you look at all the interviews that Allegri did, he said there's no reason to buy any new players. I am good with what I have. So if I'm putting all my investigation stuff, I believe that Paul Pogba is going to be the new signing, even though he technically already is signed for the roster. Because if Juve, so I'm going to try to be serious here now because I made you guys laugh. I hope I made you guys laugh.
Yeah, Dave's got
Dave
a
says I
heavy
love you.
hitter.
He's like, I love you. But do you really think that Gentoli depends on Pogba staying fit and coming back and don't think about a security blanket at all? I think Pogba is the security blanket, as crazy as it sounds.
Maybe because we can get by with who we have.
You can.
That. I'm still under this impression as well, where if there isn't the exact profile we need in January, let's wait till the summer and do it right, because our goal is still top 4. Now we're in a position where we can push, and we will, but we don't have to ruin the long-term plans to do so.
Ellie says they can't terminate his contract before I thought it was made. Was it not
because
made? He's appealing it?
Because this is the appeal, right? So because
I thought this was the appeal, because I thought they verdict, you're banned for 4 years, and then now he was trying to appeal it for 2. That's what I thought it was.
Well,
I'm a little bit confused.
That's what it originally was up until today.
So
now this news of 6 months.
Like I said, this is all speculation, right? Because we don't know all these details.
That's why I'm wearing the hat.
Exactly. That's why we're having fun here with the accent. And then Antonio says, "Will Berna be a replacement for Kean?"
Know what Berna would do?
I don't really know.
He's just another Pinsolio.
Yeah, I don't know what the whole point of Berna is.
It's how much we'd have to pay. If it was like $1 million or less, I would just say yes.
Jeff says, the way the Alex Jones impersonation is spot on. I got something here for you. So, Juve knew that Pogba was absolutely framed for doping from Inter. So, which is why they didn't cut him or do anything, because they're expecting him to come back. The hilarious plot twist that the testosterone was linked to Lautaro Martinez, but they somehow thought it was Pogba's. Pogba needs a security blanket. Cancel the contract if possible. He needs a security blanket. He needs a blanket in general.
Yeah, it's blanky.
It says, I feel bad for Pogba. I wish he returns back. We're going to do big in the summer. Yeah, but if you're running for the title, go for the title. If you can get
but do you ruin the long-term project? Do you spend the money now that you could use better in the summer? That I think Gentoli is patient enough.
I think he's a test player. I think you can get loans, right? You can get a loan player. You don't need to. I'm not saying. Here's the thing. I'm not saying you need to make a high-profile signing. That's not what I'm saying.
But then why get a signing at all? Just play the young guys and let them get the experience.
Okay, but what if the young guys aren't doing well? And I think maybe they're, and this is what the strategy is.
They're overperforming though right now. They are doing well for the most part. I mean, we're doing okay. So
I guess
like things have worked out. That this is a positive thing, right? We're not freaking out right now, because if the youngsters weren't doing well, we would, instead of just being speculating about Pogba coming back, would be freaking out right now because we wouldn't even be midfielders.
Race. We wouldn't even be in a title race. That's the honest truth.
Yeah, and this whole dialogue would be completely different.
Come on, but let me have some fun here. It's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory show. Don't grab me back to reality. This is a funny comment. David says, "Me, I want simmer dish." Dash says, "We got a simmer dish at home." Simmer dish at home, Pogba. Antonio says, "You did, Dave. LOL. Thanks."
What did I do?
I don't know what you did. Elliot says Pogba will be the vice Fajoli until he retires. Tall says if he comes back, he needs to re-sign with a much lower salary. Mark,
that would be nice.
The thought of Pogba excites me, but the man has been cooked for 2 years. Don't get your hopes up. We're speculating. I have no hopes in him coming back.
But the tinfoil hat is on.
It is the tinfoil. Dave has the tinfoil hat. I played the X-Files music. We're here to mess around because why not? Guys, in all honesty, what is my confidence percentage on this? 15%. It's 15%. I am not expecting this. Can I make some content and have some fun with you guys? Abso-fucking-lutely, because that's what I'm doing right now. Vlad says Berna is Pogba's security blanket. Jeff, Vlad says, I got you. We're aiming for top 4. David says, no, there wasn't a judge decision. There was a verdict by the WADA until it went into appeal. Then it gets investigated by the news, and then the verdict is the final one, which is a step ahead now. Okay. Antonio says, I wouldn't mind Berna, especially since he's friends with Dusan, Chiesa, and Gatti and everyone. He adds to the unity. So yeah, like Pensilio.
Yes, it is Pensilio. That's what I'm saying.
Reno Zed says, interesting to drop points after another 5 Maj. See, I got it before then. I think they're dropping in January and February.
Yeah, I think come February, once Champions League's kicking off hard, yeah, it's going to drop.
Lazar in the summer. He says, Lazar in the summer.
We'll see. I'm not confident on that one yet.
So let me throw this for you guys. Oh, so he sent me. This is Sal sent me the Dragocin stuff in the show chat. Let me ask you guys with this. What do you do with Sule next season?
Do we go to a 3 at the front, like a 4-3-3?
Let me ask you this. Do you sell him if someone offers you 45 to 50 million for Sule? Do you sell him?
This is hard to say in January.
I know, but that's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it, because like I want to remember who said it. I saw it on social media somewhere, because they were talking about the amount of touches he makes to really convert and do stuff. Because it says, and this is what Gazzetta says, and the reason why I brought it, because I saw a report from Gazzetta just now. They said Juve have decided to bet on Kenan Yildiz to be willing to sacrifice Sule next summer to do so. So the Argentinian can say goodbye to Juve if there's a strong interest for an offer that exceeds 30 million.
The fact that Kenan is performing now on the first team and Sule has been loaned out, we have a known performer, and his trajectory at this point, this very early point, looks pretty damn good.
Because that's my question, right? If you get a big enough offer, do you sell him?
So Sal's saying 30 plus, go for it. 30 seems, I feel like we can do better. We have to see how the next 6 months continue on as well. Does he have a stinker? Does he continue to perform and really start converting goals and getting assists, like just racking up the stats? We'll see. And if he does, I mean, 40, if he can get like 45 or something for him, man, the reinvestment on 45 million is quite big.
Absolutely. David says if we get that money, yes. Elliot says if Yildiz is performing, I sell. Ellie says change formation plus Mercato. Vlad says sell if we don't revert to a 4 at the back. David says depends on what the vision for next season is, though. That's an interesting one.
You know what? I can't even find a good argument against that, because Chiesa's underperforming and he costs a lot.
Tallest from the Man United for 80
and that's the thing. I feel like you can prem tax the shit out of Chiesa.
Do you think Sule will do good at Juve? One of the reasons why I kind of wanted to talk about this is because Sunday League Coach is a friend of ours on Twitter. You might not agree with his takes. I know a lot of people don't, but he does.
They're controversial.
They're controversial, but it's fine, right? So Opta posted 40 plus 40 plus 40. Sule is one of the only 2 players with Leroy Sané with 40 dribbles completed, 40 total shots, and 40 chances created in the Big 5. So Sunday League says 4 non-penalty goals on 40 shots. At Juve, they will not let him take 40 shots at this point, which is a very true comment.
Yeah.
So my concern, and this is one of the things that I've said back then with Dusan when he was struggling, right? I said at Juventus, folks, you got to understand at Juve, the way that we play, and also just how it is at big clubs when you have superstars, you can't take as many shots as you normally would at a provincial side, at a smaller club, right? So because of that, you need to be more decisive. Your conversion rates need to be a lot better. So with this, and this isn't me harking on Sule. I'm not saying he sucks before someone takes me out of context, because this is one of the things that pisses me off. If I say something, someone will take the exact extreme of this, and I'm just like, relax, calm down. So 4 non-penalty goals on 40 shots. That is not good. That is a very bad conversion rate.
I like how you have the Raptors at Lakers thing going on the side there. How the Raptors do it?
Apparently that's trending. I don't know why. So I thought it was interesting, and part of me is like that him playing for Frosinone. Like I said, we said this for Kean yet on Monday. He needs to go to a club where he gets a bombardment amount of touches, where he can get the ball and feel confident of it. But he also needs to make sure that his conversion rate is good. So I think with Sule, that's why I'm thinking he's playing well. He'll garner a good amount of interest. And if there's any time to sell him, I would say this summer is probably the most opportunistic. Because if he comes back and you keep him and he doesn't do well, you're essentially going to have Chiesa 2.0. So
already the fact that he just keeps his head up.
Yeah.
I'm already starting to be pretty convinced about
it. For me, it depends, right? If Allegri truly decides to switch to a 4-2-3-1, then I can understand. Like that makes sense to me. That move.
And that's such a huge question still.
But it is because like right now, I don't know where he would go.
Mm-hmm. That is the problem, right? And we don't know for sure the formation. And I think that formation still really does depend on a summer mercato.
It does. But like the idea for this, I kind of want to just ask and say, like, if 45, 50 come, would you do it? Would you take it?
So Mark, because you say I can't believe this key is a slander.
So
we also know what he's capable of.
Look,
so I'm gonna, but I always preamble this, right? Like I have not put up a player's name on any of my jerseys except Chiesa. He's the only jersey I have with a name on it.
Yeah,
I am a fan of Chiesa, but with the trajectory of where this club is going, we have to seriously consider. And Dash, I'm going to let you take it away from here.
Yeah, and with this, nobody here on the channel slanders Chiesa. There is no slander towards him. I think we're being objective where we think that, hey, there's facets to his game that I think he needs to evolve and he needs to improve on. And I want to make this clear because I don't want someone to take Dave and I out of context. We've never said, oh, Chiesa's garbage, he's a bum, he's a loser, and yada, yada. No. We might have said that about Dusan because he's kind of pissed us off sometimes. But again, we'll retract it when he does well. With Federico Chiesa, we've said, hey, he's at the point of his career at 26 years old where he either becomes world class or he essentially becomes a Domenico Berardi. We're not saying that he's at the Domenico Berardi yet, right? He's in the thresholds. He's coming into the thresholds where you start breaking off and you start getting towards that or you start not going towards that. It's generally 26 to 27 years old is when you start kind of branching off into that direction. Because once you hit 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, that is when you're at your best. That is when you're at your peak. Especially in the position that he plays in, that is when you're at your peak. The peak of your powers is from 27 to about 32 years old. That is when an offensive player, a winger, or a second striker plays their best. Unless you get some freaks of nature like Quagliarella and Ronaldo. And
Modric.
I'll throw Modric. I'll throw
Ibrahimovic.
Ibrahim as well. Like you'll get some
Giroud.
You'll get some freaks of nature that can do that. But generally, he's getting to the point where he's at that threshold. I'm not slandering him. I'm saying that there's two things that Chiesa needs to understand. His knee is not the same as it was before. I know they have the most expensive doctors that are willing to do everything and anything to get them going, even scratching their balls. But at the same time, knee injuries coming from a player that had a knee injury, there's one thing no doctor will ever fix, and that is your mindset after you get injured. It's not possible. There's not a pill that you can take and then you can feel that you're comfortable. I think Chiesa, and if any of you guys watch Blue Lock, Chiesa is like Chigiri right now, where Chigiri is a player that tore his ACL and he feels like his leg is chained because of it. He's afraid of the injury. I think that's where Chiesa is mentally. I think Chiesa could be the best Italian player in this generation if he's able to free himself of his mental shackles. If he is not, he is going to go in the trajectory of Domenico Berardi. Because remember, Berardi had the opportunity to go and be that guy, but that he just didn't want to leave the comfortable home of Sassuolo. Because that's the truth, remember? Allegri was like, hey, I want you here. And he said, no, I'm not going. I don't want to fight for my place. I'm good here. And he stayed there and he never left.
And as you can see from the chat too, it's not just us. It seems that we all do love Chiesa, but we do now expect more because he's at that point where he should be giving us more for how much he's worth, for the trajectory that he's shown that he can give us, from what we do see with the national team, for instance. There is a little bit of frustration, and it's also mentioned here he'll leave for free next year. Does he extend? He's been delaying that. Is his mind, is his heart with Juve right now? We don't know that necessarily, and he hasn't really proven that he's 100% locked in. And until he does prove that, these questions will remain. We're not saying yes, absolutely, we need to sell him, but we need to consider his sell as soon as even now, I think is okay. That's a little quick, but as soon as this summer, realistically.
Yeah, you either extend him or you sell him at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no in between, because then he's essentially running on the end of his contract. And look, a lot of folks loved Paulo Dybala, right? And if he was a true Juventini, he would have understood the situation and took a pay cut to re-sign. But he tried nickel and diming the club, right? He tried getting more money. And look, I'm not saying that's what Chiesa's trying to do. I'm not putting that out there. But for him not re-signing his contract, and with the rumors of him saying he's not going to re-sign until he knows what the full technical project is and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, dude, with all due respect, you can't go around asking for that. The only two players, and this is my opinion, the only two players that have the authority to go to a sporting director and demand how the project or the technical route for the entire club or et cetera is going before they sign or do anything is prime Ronaldo and prime Messi. Those are the only two players that can have, an argument by saying, oh, I'm only going to sign if you tell me what your project is. With all due respect, Chiesa had a great 8 months, but Chiesa doesn't have the right to go to Giuntoli and say, I'm not going to give you a renewal if you don't tell me what this is or what the project or what the end game is. Giuntoli's going to look at him and be like, what? And this is all allegedness, right? I don't know if Chiesa really did do that. It's just stuff you see on social media. But that's the thing, right? With Dybala, if Dybala loved the club as much as he would claim and looks all sad whenever Juve play Roma, he would have told his uncle, what the hell are you doing? You're going to cost me my career with this place. And then in the end, that's what he did. And now
he's available for 12 million to anybody outside of Italy. 12 million euro.
Nobody's triggered it.
12 million.
And it's probably because his uncle is a pain in the ass to deal with. So, look, I want Chiesa to succeed. When Chiesa's on it, he is a fun player to watch. But, and then I got to answer this. David says he doesn't play like he's scared. Why is he glued on the left and tries to use that space to dribble 2 4 guys? Because it's his comfort zone, right? That's where he thinks he can control his body the most. So it's not like he reverts to terrified. Habits. Yeah, he reverts to habits. That is the sign of a player that doesn't trust his physical capabilities, is when they revert to basic habits that they know in their head that they can do. Vlad says pre-ACL Chiesa was definitely. I agree with that. I think so too.
Yeah, the injury mentally, not physically. The injury mentally.
I think the injury has messed with him mentally. Reno Zed says Chiesa's not going anywhere. I hope not, but at the same time, I hope he steps up and performs.
I
think he can. I think he can. He's a guy that's willing to put in the effort, but I still think, like, right now, the only person in Chiesa's way is Chiesa. It's not Allegri. It's not Dusan. It's not Yildiz. It's not any of this. Chiesa's biggest enemy right now is himself. And I can tell you right now from personal experience and also from training other players, it's a mental block that he's struggling from. It is.
If he can get over this hump and go back to the way we know he can be, then absolutely, I want my old Chiesa back. It's amazing. But if he continues to be mentally blocked, again, Juve's all about grinta, fino alla fine, and yes, Chiesa was probably that before the injury. But if post injury he just can't get that grinta back, I'm sorry, you have to make that business decision, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and Gintoli was brought in to make those business decisions. I'm not saying this from an emotional stance. I'm saying this from a strictly like, this is how business is done. And because his contract will be expiring next year, he either has to step up, renew, and prove that he wants to continue with us, or unfortunately, we're going to have to part ways. It's going to be on a professional matter. We're not going to be yelling and screaming at each other, I don't think. It'll just be, sorry, it didn't work out. Good luck wherever you're going. Time will tell. I think we got at least till the summer before any of this kind of comes to it.
And obviously this is all speculation, guys. We're not, we're not trying to say it's gospel. So Mark says, I have complete faith in Chiesa's ability and mindset. Patient. I think he had an issue with the extending lines with Max, because I feel like he's not a huge fan. Well, it's going to suck for him, because Elkin just said Allegri's untouchable.
And that's always a factor too, right?
Could be.
If the other 20 something players are okay with Max and
he's not,
isn't, it's Chiesa's problem,
Here's the thing with Max. All former great players have all complimented him. The only person that's spoken out against him is Leonardo Bonucci. Everybody else, all other players have had great relationships with Allegri. So for me, I have a very hard time buying the stock that Chiesa doesn't like Allegri or doesn't agree with Allegri. Because look, Dusan Vlahovic is working on evolving and changing his game. If he did not like Allegri, he would not do that. He wouldn't. He would force a move. He'd be gone yesterday. Like, let's be honest. If Dusan hated Allegri and felt Allegri was ruining his career, he would have gone. He would be gone by now. He's willing to change and adapt his style. And then she says, and Veronica. I think Veronica's done well for Rabiot, though. I think she's kept Rabiot punctual and mature. Like, I know we joke about her, but like, outside of like, there's no drama with Rabiot after the whole PSG situation where they benched him for 6 months because he wouldn't sign a contract.
I feel like PSG, and by extension the French national team, is just a cesspool of drama.
Yeah.
Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe. Mbappe is the definition of Chiesa was extremely egotistical. That's Kylian Mbappe. Roma would sell Dybala for $700K because they need the money. That's 100%.
They might, yeah.
They're probably hoping that someone triggers it. Respect to Madame Veronique. Jeff says, honestly, it's important to have a good agent-player relationship. Dybala got shafted by his uncle. It killed me when he left the club. But at the end of the day, Dybala is an adult.
He gets to make that decision.
He makes that decision. I think big if. Lots of ifs. Elliot says, first step was done. He handed over the ring.
Are you talking about because Chiesa got engaged? Everyone got engaged recently.
Yeah, they all got engaged. Vlad says, David, to answer your question, it's because Chiesa is a touchline winger, not a second striker. But I think he needs to, because, like, for example, if you look at some of his goals, if you look at the goals with Macedonia, he scored them all in the center of the box, center of the 18. I think Chiesa, for him to, because Chiesa's a touchline winger, right? He's not an inverted winger. So it's not, in my opinion, I don't think it's good for his career to be a touchline winger. I really don't. This is my opinion. He has the capabilities of being a player that inverts or cuts in or does more. He can do more damage that way. But him being a touchline winger makes him very, like, because you know how we ragged about Kostic being one-dimensional? If Chiesa were to develop into a full-blown touchline winger, I think it would hurt him. It'd be one-dimensional because, he's just going to beat you with pace on the outside and that's it. Where I think Chiesa being double-footed, so he can shoot with his left and right, being able to dribble through defenders, I think as a defense, it's harder to scheme for Federico Chiesa when he's playing in the middle of the pitch because he can hit you and burn you anywhere. That's my thoughts, and I think that's what Allegri is trying to preach because Allegri said that as well. So IFTV wants Max gone. That means I'm riding with him until the wheels fall. I watched their recent podcast.
You watched the whole thing, or
no? I just watched the Juve stuff. Like, it's very generic, and like, look, kudos to those guys for the brand that they've created and what they've done. I mean, people have bought Calcio shirts and even Forza Italia, even though that's like promoting Berlusconi. They've
But did they
bought
know?
all of that equipment. Yeah, they've bought all of that equipment and all that stuff, and they've made a brand for themselves. But like the one thing that kind of disappoints me is their recent take. Oh, I think Allegri's out and can't take him to the next level. Okay, great. What's your suggestion to improve? Because they are the biggest Italian football channel on the internet right now, and they get a bunch of young fans, and they don't. And my issue is not doing due diligence and complimenting, because like one of them said, Juve don't build out of the back. Guys, we build using a 4-2. That's all we do. We don't just take the ball and heave it forward. So like being able to articulate how we do things and your thoughts and your issues and how to fix things. Like, for example, the game, they're like, oh yeah, Juve just struggled to build out of the back and blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's not true, because all we do is build out of the back. We essentially have Locatelli be the main pivot in a 4-2 build. Ball goes out to McKennie or Cambiaso. They filter it through either Dusan or Chiesa, and then they open up the wings and they spread the game out that way. It's how we've always built out of the back. We always build out of the back. You want to know who doesn't build out of the back? Is Roma, because they have Hoisin or Mancini loft the ball to Lukaku, and that's how they build. Like, we've always done that. It's insane. David says he's back from injury exactly a year. If we don't see any improvements between now and summer, what do we do? Science says you need the same time. No, he's not wrong. David says if he doesn't improve or get over the hump, then it's a business decision. Vlad says he's a touchline winger in a sense that he receives the ball wide and cuts in centrally. I feel like he doesn't, though. He just sticks out wide and then lofts it. LJ says
he does. He doesn't attempt to cut in, but we're always playing against that low block, and then he just gets overloaded defensively, right?
And then Ellie says, "Oh, IFTV, their last title was bait clicking." Yeah, they said Serie A, the best the best youngsters.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like Juve have like the most youngsters in Serie. What? Like one kid in Milan does well, and like that's where everything goes. Like that's to me that's disappointing. Vlad says, for example, Pep's current wingers invert, but if you look at their heat maps, they're touchline wingers. Vlad, if Chiesa was to invert, cut in, and shoot, I would have no issue with that. I would think that's perfect, because that's what I want Chiesa to do. But he takes it and then drifts out wide with the ball. That's where I'm struggling with Chiesa right now. Is he has the tools to go in and shoot, but I rarely see him take the ball and cut in and shoot. I just see him dart to the wing and then force across into the middle of the box. Zed says, I watched it. I wasn't too happy with Marco, but Gaetano and Antonio are the best. And I think out of everyone there, I think Antonio is the one that does his homework. He does the most amount of homework out of everyone there, because, people can call him the village idiot or the crazy guy or whatever, but Antonio actually looks and watches the game and can give you an actual full down breakdown of it. Because like with Marco's breakdown of the Salernitana game, like they can't build out of the back and that's it. And I'm like, dude, no, that's not it at all. Salernitana employed a low block, tried taking really stupid, silly fouls, tried agitating Juve players to force them to get cards, tried to get Juve players carded off, but eventually it blew up in their face. And the one time they had a credible chance on goal or attack was because Kostic and Danilo miscommunicated on a coverage that was a blown coverage. And then Hans Nicolucci miscommunicated with Bremer on who to step, and it opened up Maggiore, and Maggiore took the shot and scored. It's a miscommunication on multiple areas on that left side of the field. That was the issue for Salernitana. The offensive issue, it was raining. The ball was slick. The hold-up play is very difficult in the rain. So what Allegri did there to adjust it, because Kenan Yildiz was getting physically bullied off the ball, he was like, hey, let me add Milik. Milik can hold the ball or cause some issues a little bit, and that'll set something up. Kostic was playing atrociously. So then he was like, okay, let me throw in Illing. Let me get us a little bit of a jolt. Let me catch Salernitana off the back end, because we were losing 1-0 at the time. Salernitana were expecting us to push forward so they could play and hit us on the counter. So Allegri put in Illing to anticipate space for counterattacks on Salernitana, and Milik to essentially hold the ball. Because if you look at the first goal, and I don't know, and look, and we can debate on whether or not Dusan actually had a clear back flick assist or if he shanked it. I don't really give a damn. But Milik held that ball up, played it to Dusan, which then went to Illing, which then went in and scored. Danilo, aggressive. As much as people want to hate on the guy, he won the ball back, lofted it into the box, so Dusan can have an opportunity to get the game-winning header. If you're breaking a game down, at least do your due diligence, right? And that's kind of the things that I have an issue is, like, you'll have some folks that'll just, oh yeah, you've this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, be fair to your viewers, because let's be honest, when you're listening to a Serie A show or anything about Italian calcio that you're listening to, your main audience are going to be Juve, Inter, AC Milan, Lazio, Roma. And if you're not going to at least in depth watch those games and give a proper analysis, don't talk about it. And it's kind of like, it disappoints me because one of them's an actual Juventino and they don't really research or talk about the game in depth. And it's the same thing on Paramount Plus too. They're just like, oh yeah, Juve this and that and that. But Salernitana, oh my God, it's an amazing thing. Salernitana is awesome. Salernitana is good. Juve, blah, 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 blah. And then when Juve wins, oh, Juve, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I'm over it. I'm done with it. Jeff says, I'd rather have Chiesa as an inverted winger. He has a lot of potential. Vlad says, can we go back to tinfoil stuff? There's been so much stuff. I want to talk about the four at the back, but we don't need to go at the four at the back. I mean, we're having the best start. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can do that on the call-in show too, because I think that one would be more of a call-in show topic. You know what? We'll do that for the call-in show. We'll tease that for the call-in.
That's good. Yeah. That's actually
that's a good discussion for the call-in show.
Yeah, because I don't want to go too long. We actually have to still prepare for tomorrow's game because we're coming in hot from work tomorrow, so we actually have to prepare everything tonight as well.
Yeah,
so we can't go like super long tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, I would say, guys, we table that'll be the main theme of the call-in show where we have you guys call in and debate on it. 4 at the back versus 3 at the back. So Vlad, you gave me a good idea. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. He's got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, he does. He's a very smart guy. So Jeff says, I feel like Chiesa being there. David says Cambiasso is the best with crosses we have, and Chiesa took all of his touches from outside the box away. Yes, he had an assist, but he also tried. Did he actually have a registered assist? I didn't think Chiesa had a register. I think he had a pseudo assist, a hockey assist.
He definitely had that. I'd have to check the stat sheet to see what was given.
Yeah, I think we have to look at that. But it's true though, right? Like, I want Chiesa taking shots. I don't want Chiesa giving crosses in a sense. And then he met Antonio through video chat. He was very nice. Met Marco and Mike in LA. Nice guys, but sometimes Marco's politically incorrect. Tal says, cue the...
Calcio is life. I like Calcio. I like IFTV. Look, I'm wearing a Calcio hat. No, I'm going to go watch Calcio. Calcio is life. I like Calcio. I like IFTV. Look, I'm wearing a Calcio hat.
Thanks, Sam. And again, if new viewers that don't know who that is Sam Adamo from the Bordello. We are waiting.
New one dropped today, actually.
He did drop a new one. Once his schedule opens up, he will be here on the tinfoil hat.
And I already listened to it. He got kicked off his soccer team for
Shithousing?
What he says on the podcast.
That's really. You know, the funny thing is, like, the rated M for mature thing, because like there's times where Sam comes on here, so like just to give people context when he comes here, I throw this up so people know and can see that this is TVMA because he's a stand-up comedian. He's just gonna say whatever the f he wants. Like, Sam will say what it's like. Sam says what Sam wants to say. So I have this up here, so you see it above Dave's forehead. That's there. And then I also play this too.
The following program.
To do that, and then just because Vlad wants to see it, I'm gonna play this too.
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
There you go, Vlad. There's your Lukaku video of the day. Yeah, no, it's a bit wild. I love having Sam on here, but he's perfect for a show like this, the Tinfoil Hat Show, where we can just lollygag and stuff like that. But sometimes you're just kind of like, but we love him.
It means his stand-up career is starting to kick off.
He's doing well.
Nice.
He's doing well because I remember when he was starting off too. So it's good to see him. So Sam, we love you, buddy. Keep going. Keep doing your grind. He says Marco seems like he's Did you guys? It's gossip, but you know when he was at the Champions League final, he had an Inter scarf, a Man City Inter scarf that he had that he was holding.
Oh yes. Yeah.
You know, look, I don't care if you hold the Man City part and just have the Inter part just dangle, but like, you know, that's like taboo in front of Juventini if you're holding Inter apparel.
He's playing the whole I'm a Serie A guy now.
Yeah.
But like, I like just come out and say it.
Just come out and say it.
Just come out and say it. Yeah.
Like, don't cover certain things and be like, oh, I'm this or that, blah, blah, blah. Like, just be genuine. Hey, look, guys, I hold this because look, Alessandro Del Piero, he wouldn't even touch a Roma scarf. Like it was I think it was in the New York Stock Exchange, and it was like two Romanista, and they had Del Piero in the picture, and they're like, hey, can you hold the scarf and say Forza Roma? And he had his hands behind his back. He's like, no, I'm not gonna say it. He said no. Like, he's like, I'm not gonna do it. Look, it's funny because they're like, this is one thing girls would say. Guy, there's one thing that you know that a guy will never cheat on, and that's his football club. And it's true. It's true. And David says you're right. Dash was it was 2 hockey assists. We'll say it in
a couple of hockey assists.
aspects for the hosers in us. And then LJJ says pure class from Del Piero. I'm gonna see if I can find that clip. I'll show you guys it because I don't think everyone's seen it, and I think that will be what we end on. Because why not end on Del Piero?
Yeah, why not? That's a good place.
So Dave, while I pull up the clip, you want to do the old housekeeping orders?
Yeah, we'll do some housekeeping. Why not? Got to keep the place nice and tidy, sweep it all under the rug. But before we do that, we have to like and subscribe to this video. We have to go to the Discord, which means I pop up this cool little barcode that you can scan. And my computer restarted, so no, it's not. I can't control V that again. But go down in the description, hop in the Discord like LJJ just did, and it's amazing. So thank you, the community. We're at 90 something, 92 now, I think, just in the Discord itself, right? So it's really, really cool. And just saying in Mbappe's sort of Italian, sort of Belgian, Flemish accent, for the maximum of likes, guys.
For the maximum of likes, did you like the video? Yes, like it. Speaking of Mbappe, I'm getting the clip from his YouTube to give him more credit because we love you, Giuseppe. So here you go. This is what we'll end on today. So obviously, this is, I don't really know too much about it, but there's some Romani, I believe that's Vieri, Christian Vieri, and he's holding that. But this guy, I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he's
Probably,
trying to get him to hold it.
Yes,
It's probably the club president.
Look at Del Piero. Hey, you want to hold this in Porto Roma?
No.
He said you. So he says you grab it and you say it. He says.
Love it.
Can we all say Forza Roma? Is it legible or do we have to
yes, very legible.
So look, I'm not expecting, loyalty levels of Del Piero, but if you call yourself a Juventini, be a Juventini.
Reno, are you using Discord on the web browser or did you actually download it?
Are you using it on the web browser or do you have the app on your computer and phone?
Because you're like the only guy that says it stinks. So I'm saying.
I think that might be a day where Dave and I sit down with you and kind of teach you the works of it. But make sure you download the app instead of the web browser version. I have the app on your cell phone and the app on your computer because it's better than the web browser. The web browser kind of sucks, but like
web browser is good just to like, hey, let's check this out. I can see what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, I recommend you get the actual Discord app. And I know they did a recent update on the mobile version, which has made it a little bit choppy, but yeah, recommend you get it for your phone. But I think we'll table it here because we're at 2 hours and normally this is an hour show. So obviously, guys, remember to like, subscribe, send this to your friends. Also share this to your friends because I've noticed our audience is growing. We're getting more people watching.
Welcome everyone. Welcome. Love it.
Yes, we've been here for over a year. It's just we're small, and Dave and I don't really like to make bombastic clickbait articles. That's probably why you haven't found us.
He likes the little bitty ones, right? So it's okay.
Yeah, and then again, obviously, if you've seen us before, we've worked with Beppe on the Juve Twitch channel. So it's Dave and I where we do our little bit of a twist. And Beppe's always been kind of one of the guys that gave us and showed us the ropes in a sense. But yeah, obviously that. Just so you guys know, I'm surprised you have not hit the music yet, David.
You won't? Okay, well, because sometimes you go on forever, but
I was
waiting.
I was stalling so you would play the music.
Oh, is that okay?
That's what I was doing. All right. So everyone, just to give you some housekeeping notes, we are doing a watch along tomorrow. We will be coming in hot, so if there is a little bit of lateness or tardiness on Dave and mine part, we do apologize ahead of time. We are not doing anything Friday. We're going to give ourselves the day off, but what we will do is we'll recap.
Right.
Frosinone, as David would say. I'm still cutting my promo. We will recap Frosinone and also do the call-in show that day, Saturday evening, 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I think that's like 10 or 11 p.m. Central European time. We'll be there. We'll discuss that there. The main topic that will open it up is discussing whether or not to do a back three or a back four. And then Sunday, Dave and I will film the day after podcast where we really go in depth and recap the weekend and stuff, where it's a podcast format where it's just Dave and myself talking. And then we'll do some Some work for Sassuolo. We've got Sassuolo, and we'll go on to Sassuolo again.
Please tell me you know that reference.
I don't want to say it because I just don't want to give you the
You know what it is.
the luxury. Yes, I do. Leave me
You guys
alone.
know what it is, right? If you don't, it's dude, where's my car?
Yeah.
We're old.
Dude,
Okay.
where's my exit? You're interrupting. But no. If you smell what Dash and Dave are cooking. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, guys.